Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, a couple of brothers, a few people have actually previously asked me about how to get a job in Dubai. It's very difficult to go back to every single person, situations vary, and so I'm going to try and make this video for you guys to give you some tips to help you out in terms of how you can go about getting a job in Dubai. Now, to give you guys an idea, my background's been in recruitment. I've worked in recruitment for like 10, 11 years now. It's crazy because when I started YouTube, I was saying 8 years and now I have to say 10, 11 years. Yeah, it is what it is. But the point being is, I've worked in recruitment for 10, 11 years. I actually worked in Dubai for a little while as well. And so I understand how the market in Dubai works. And so hopefully this video will benefit you guys if you're looking to move to Dubai, UAE, Sharjah, wherever it is. Hopefully this benefits you in terms of the UAE side. Though some of the tips that I give should hopefully benefit you anywhere anyway. So make sure to like this video, subscribe, and I guess share with anyone that might benefit as well. So let's get straight into it. So there are two things. If someone has a lot of experience, qualifications, that sort of thing, now obviously that person is going to be quite attractive and therefore they might not have to jump through many hurdles to get them a job in the UAE, right? So if you are working in sales, if you are good in sales, to be honest, you should be able to get at least some interviews. It's you know, that market definitely does quite well in the UAE, and so in sales you could get a job in recruitment, even in real estate. Now the negative of real estate is the fact that a lot of the times you're not getting a basic salary. Very hard as well, by the way. Some people do make a lot of money. So just a pointer, though I would say in terms of Islamically, just make sure you check with your people of knowledge. You don't fall into start selling, you know, houses the wrong way sort of thing. So I do want to just highlight a couple of things. If you don't have that much experience, you're just going to have to make a lot of calls, send a lot of CVs, you know, speak to a lot of people. Definitely, if you have some contacts, try to, you know, use your contacts because a lot of the times people in UAE do get jobs based on references. What do I mean by this? If someone can put in a good reference, if someone can say this person is this and he can do this and, you know, they'll be reliable, that definitely helps. There are certain things that the UAE is a little bit different than UK. Often companies actually want you to even have your picture on your CV. That might sound crazy in the UK, but actually in the UAE, that's quite normal. If you're obviously a brother with a big beard and you know what I mean, like I don't know, by the way, that might be a negative if you're trying to get a job. But bidnillah, of course, have the right intention. I think that's one thing as well. Like make sure, and that's one thing that I would highlight just, that understand that whatever happens and comes, it comes from Allah. And so ask Allah and, you know what I mean? Like have the right intentions whenever you're trying to, you know, get your job or trying to move out to the UAE. In terms of the picture thing, like it can be an issue. Now, obviously, if you're a sister, you don't really want to share it. I'm just putting it out there that some companies do expect you to have your picture on. So I don't know. I mean, listen, if you're a very good looking guy and you're wearing a nice suit and that sort of thing, it might work in your favor. Honestly speaking, in some UAE companies, they do want you to have that there. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that is what some companies do want you to have. Now, what's the best route? Is it you go down the recruitment company way? Is it where, you know, you try to apply for yourself? I think, look, the truth is both can go hand in hand. Recruitment companies, generically speaking, don't actually care that much about candidates. It's the harsh reality. And so if you don't have much experience, though I would still speak to recruitment companies, I would say that they probably wouldn't give you much time, unfortunately, because if they feel like they can't make money with you, it doesn't really make sense to speak to you or help you, right? They're not there to help you. They're more there to make money for themselves. Okay. So, I mean, go to recruitment companies, give them your CVs. If you don't have experience that much, for example, what I would do is I would go into Google, I would type in, you know, whatever your specific niche is. Let's say that's accounting, for example. I would type in your role, whatever. Let's say it's an audit. Okay, so I would type in, you know, accountant, your speciality, search jobs. Let's say you get a ton of jobs that come up. Now the jobs are there, but how can you stand out? That's what it comes down to. How can you be different? This is what you need to do. You need to find the company that is advertising the job. A lot of the times they are companies that are advertising the jobs, right? Go on LinkedIn, find that company on LinkedIn. Let's say, for example, they're called ABC Limited. Now, by the way, I was going to show you on the computer. I'm not going to, just because, personal details start coming up and that sort of thing. And I just don't want to share specific companies and, so I'm going to give you generic advice. But take this in. So go into Google, type in your specific niche, find the jobs, find the company. So say ABC Limited is advertising for an accountant. Okay. Go on LinkedIn, type in ABC Limited. It will tell you how many employees and what employees are there. Go on the employees, find the director, find the HR person, the manager, add them up, send them a message, call them. You can definitely call from the UK as well, and get in touch with them directly. Now, why would you want to do this? One, any company will want the person who has the right attitude way more than someone who has the perfect skills. Generically speaking, having the right attitude is actually way more important than having the right skills. And that's something you need to highlight. Look, if there are 100 people applying for one job, maybe about 30, 40 people will apply by just sending their CV. In fact, probably more. Let's say 50 people apply. I would say 40 people will probably just send their CV and expect a response. 10 people, might, even that is such a high number, but 10 people might send an email or a cover letter or do something a little bit different. And I would say out of 50 people, maybe one, it's so rare, will actually give a call to the company, say, can I speak to this person? Obviously, you know who the person is because you've searched their name on LinkedIn. Let's say their name is Abdullah. You say, can I please speak to Abdullah in HR? They might say, no, he's not available, etc., etc. No problem at all. Can you please let Abdullah know, my name is, whatever your name is, I am sending my CV across, really interested in the role that you've got advertised, and expect him to have my CV in his emails in the next 10 minutes, right? That is something no one does, but it puts you in the listen, if I'm Abdullah and I've had 50 CVs, one guy calls me and says, I will at least look at it. In the email, you can write something like, I'm interested in this because of this. This is my situation. And so I think that route of applying is very, very powerful. And though I say that someone who doesn't have experience should use this route, actually, someone who does have a lot of experience should still use this route because, it's probably one of the best routes. It puts you in the top 1% of applying for your job. And no doubt it shows you as someone who has the right mindset and the right work ethic. And, it just shows you as someone who is different. And that's very important. Now, when you're sending an email to this client or this person, I think if you do that, honestly speaking, 30 or 40 times, you genuinely should start getting some very good responses. I think definitely you should start getting some responses at least. Now, the email you're sending them, you want to address a couple of things. Like, I'm happy to fly out as soon as possible, or when you can fly out, address that. My situation with my family is X, and therefore, I'm completely looking forward to moving out to the UAE because of this. I think it's very important for the client to understand, okay, fine, if you're going to move out, are you just going to go back? Are you just coming for a holiday? I've been to the UAE a couple of times before and I understand the situation. Therefore, I feel very comfortable and it's somewhere I want to live. Something like that. Because a company will always be thinking, this person's coming out from the UK or wherever you're coming out from. Are you actually going to be interested? And will you actually stay? Is it your first time coming to the UAE? Is it going to be a culture shock? And are you just going to go back? So companies will definitely bear this in mind. These are things that you have to or should address in the email. It will show you as someone who is definitely interested, definitely addressing the pain points for them. Then obviously it gives you a better chance of getting to the next stage. And what is the next stage? The next stage is an interview. And so I would, in the email, also mention something like, I'm available for a Zoom interview at this day or this day and this day. Give them like 3 times when you're available for an interview. And try to push that. Just say, look, I'm available here. Why don't we have a discussion over it? Then it comes down to you and you being able to impress them in the right way. Now, let's say, by the way, you actually got on the phone to them. you're basically saying the same thing you would say in the email. So address the fact that you're going, whenever you're going, you like UAE, why you like UAE, you like the company, do a little bit of research, 5 minutes into the company, you like the company and what they do, and so you're really interested in the role. I came across you on LinkedIn, thought I'd just speak to you and directly and let you know that I'm interested, and I'll have the CV to you, in the next 10 minutes. 5 things that you can just address to them to, again, make you stand out. And I would just say, even then, end the call with something like, when do you think we can maybe have a chat regarding the role in more detail? Maybe you don't want to say something like, oh, when can we interview? Say something like, when do you think we can have a chat about the role and see the next steps? Get an idea from the person if you get through to them on the phone. So definitely speak to them. I think speaking to them is super powerful. Send an email to them, super powerful. You're trying to stand out from every single other person. Now, there are a couple of things to bear in mind. You are definitely going to be taken much more serious if you're already in the UAE. So if you're super serious, if you have no real responsibilities, if you're like, look, I'm all out, I am ready to go to the UAE and get a job in the UAE, then maybe go there for a couple of weeks and try to get a job there for a couple of weeks. That's what I would do. I would just try to get a job. If I was looking for a job in the UAE, then I would go move there, and I would try to, when I say move there, I would go there for a few weeks, and I would try to get the job in those few weeks. And, it kind of shows to the person and the company, this person seriously has come out and he's just trying to get a job, There are other things to bear in mind as well. If your situation is where you do not need a visa, right? And this is obviously not as many people, because it might just be where your husband's, for example, got a company, he's got his visa situation, and you've already got your visa sorted, or for whatever reason you don't need a visa in the UAE because your wife's got a job. I don't know, but the chances of you getting a role in the UAE is probably a lot more. It should be a lot easier, because getting a visa and giving a slot of your visa for someone is quite long for companies, and therefore, if you don't need a visa, definitely highlight the fact that you won't need a visa. Super important. So if that is you, make sure you say that. You'll probably get a ton of interviews very, very, very quickly. In regards to salaries and stuff like that, look, I don't want to go into it too much because the bracket, it can be massive, and especially in somewhere like UAE, I mean, it could be like 5,000 dirham a month up to like 100,000 dirham a month. So I don't want to go into it too much, but hopefully that gives you some ideas. Definitely use LinkedIn, add people on LinkedIn, message them directly, email them, find the jobs. I think a very powerful way is find the jobs, find the company, and go down that route. Now, how can you go about using recruiters? Look, there are a couple of recruitment companies in UAE are very good. I just bear in mind the recruitment company is trying to make money themselves. They don't actually care about you generically. I'm not saying everyone now, but generically speaking, the recruitment company doesn't care about you. And so you should go in with the mindset that they don't care about me. I'm going to use this, but this isn't my prime way of getting a job. See, if you sit passively, you're not really going to get much results. You have to be active. So you have to, be calling and emailing and sending messages. Remember, a lot of people want to go out to UAE and get a job in the UAE. And, there aren't that many jobs to go around for how many people want to go out. There's definitely a lot more people. And so a recruitment company is just trying to make their money. And so if they feel like you're the perfect candidate, they'll put you forward. But if you're not the perfect candidate, how do you beat the perfect candidate? And that's by, emailing the company directly, speaking to them directly, trying to make your own mark on them directly. Because remember, a company has to pay a recruitment company a fee, right? So if you can directly approach companies and speak to them yourselves, you're going to have much better chances, because they don't have to pay a recruitment company, £6,000-7,000 basically. They're saving money because you've approached them directly. It also shows you're a serious person, and it also shows you have something special about you, a spark about you, because you're taking that extra initiative. Very important. That's what I would do. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of how to go about applying for a job in UAE and gives you some ideas. What I will say is, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, maybe comment them below. I'll also put it up on my Instagram as well. If you guys have any questions regarding getting a job in Dubai, salaries, whatever it is, and then maybe I'll do another video on doing better in your interviews, or something around whatever your questions are. I'll do another video on the questions of getting a job in Dubai. But hopefully, inshallah, you benefited. Remember, whatever comes, it comes from Allah, and so ask Allah. Have the right intention. If you're looking to make hijrah, of course, very good, very important. May Allah allow anyone who is in the West, in non-Muslim lands, to be able to make hijrah and give them the means to make hijrah. So always have the right intentions. I think that's very important. But that's all from me today. Anything else, let me know in the comments. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.